Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and this is the Frontline History. So it's the end of yet another month. February is gone. We now have entered into March. So it's time to take a look at what's the difference in terms of the frontline. How does it change from the beginning of February to the end of February? So 1st to the 28th or 1st of March. So basically this chart over on this on the side over here, let me draw this one. Yeah, this one here is the total area captured. So a lot of people have been asking, for this, and I know that in the last monthly the last January frontline history, that I didn't put it out, and also the way how I do the mapping colors is a bit confusing, so all have improved. And we can see there is Lugansk is now 99.97% taken, almost fully taken by the Russian forces. There is a +6 square kilometers. In Donetsk, the difference is 181 square kilometers. In February, taken by the Russian forces, it increased from 19,132 to 19,313. And this contributes to the percentage increase from 72.14 to 72.83%. So it is still, it doesn't look like a lot. It doesn't look like a lot when you just look at the percentage, but 181 square kilometers is still significant. Like I talked about, the Russians are taking around 10 square kilometers a day on average, and then 118 is like 18 days straight of capturing. So now, and then for Zaporizhia, there's also some slight change, 2 square kilometers change, and then so the total area captured of the Zaporizhia Oblast is around 78.94%. So anyway, these numbers are just estimates. Don't take it seriously. It's for entertainment purposes. Okay. So and Kherson, there is also some increase. 21 square kilometers was taken by the Russian forces, and then it contributed to 84.48%. So for the Ukrainians, the control of Kursk actually dropped by 27 square kilometers. So in February, they started off with 527 square kilometers of Kursk, and now they only have 500 square kilometers. So it has fallen. So let's go into looking at the front line. I'll put this like this, and so this is Kursk, and you can see the front line changes around here. You can see that the Russians actually have penetrated through. So let me I need to delete something first. The 1st of Feb, delete this. So that is if not you cannot see. Yeah, so you can see the front line changes in this mapping. You can see that the Russians has basically moved out from the Nikolaevo Darino. Okay, we have to start from the western flank. Yeah, I can't even zoom in, zoom out. Oh, so complicated. Okay, so the Russians over the February have basically go all the way to Loknia and Lebedevka. They have taken or allegedly taken all of these places. These are Russian claims. The more firm is the capture of Sverdiklovo, and they have also pushed all the way to the border line of Nikolaevo Darino and Darino. So these are all massive advances from the Russian forces in this sector, and so you can zoom out and see a little bit more. So I think let's not do too granular because the video will end up being super long. But so there's this advance from the Russian forces allegedly to Zuravka. They have covered all the way to the border region. They have taken Sverdiklovo, attacking to Novenke. Novenke, right? Yeah, Novenke. And they have allegedly taken half of Lebedevka, hitting all the way to Loknia. And even the northern flank, there is also some changes as well, with the Russians taking Pogrebki region and Orlovka region. and also allegedly go down south of Nedenov. So if you zoom over here a bit, you can see the alleged frontline change. This is a confirmed one, the lines. So this area here is still Ukrainian front line, but you can see that the Russians have advanced also over in the northern flank. Over on the other side, over in the Sudja region, we have this front line. So let me see. Okay, so the Russian forces basically have lost territory. Ukrainian forces taken the positions around Komarkov and in the south of Manovka. This was the frontline change. The Russians actually lost more, but they managed to retake Cherkasskaya Konopelka and Sofana-Sievka, limiting the damage. But you look at the overall picture, for Kursk, the Ukrainians still lost 27 square kilometers of their occupied territory. So overall, is still pretty much a failure for the Ukrainian side, that they are slowly losing control of Kursk. And you can also see north of Goevo, this area here was the frontline change, with the Russians crossing the Svel River into the north of Goevo, allowing them to attack north and south towards Kurilovka and Goevo. So these are frontline changes at the Kursk region. And we move on to the Kharkiv front. There is actually no frontline changes as far as I can remember. Yep, there's no frontline changes over here. Then we go to the Voreshna front. So this area, there's quite significant amount of frontline change. So over in the Topoli region, there is this massive change of front line. So in this area here, Russian forces allegedly taken Topoli. Over at this Voreshna region, the Russian forces basically have punched all the way out to Vyholivka, capturing all the way to Vyholivka, and then they have also have some progress around Voreshna. This distance traveled is pretty big. It's around 3 kilometers. At the very least. So this is pretty much a very important change around here. And we move to Zapadne. You can also see some frontline changes around here. This is the confirmed one, with Russian forces taken Zapadne. Everything else is pretty much Russian claims. So we'll continue to wait for corroboration, but it is pretty significant, the frontline changes over here. So let's wait and see how this goes. At the Kupiansk front, we have no visible change from the look of it, and nothing much over in the Borova front as well. Just a little bit here in the south of Lozova. So Russian forces actually managed to take a bit of grounds here in the south of Lozova over here. So a very tiny one. So this is why I say Borova front sometimes is like a scam. There's a lot of reported fighting, but nothing changed. And we can see now, across the February, there's hardly any changes. So if we move further south, let's see. We have some slight changes over in the Makievka, Nedievka region. So there's some change around Nevsky. Sorry, not Nedievka, Nevsky. Around in the north of Nevsky, which is also now known as Balka-Zuravka. And some change over at Makievka. So some slight changes around here. That shows the Ukrainians are putting very strong defense around this area here to prevent Russian breakthrough. And also this territory here, the geography here is just much easier to defend. Around the Terny region, the Russians managed to punch out to Bilhorivka, go all the way south to Yampolivka, and secure the eastern flank of Terny. So there is also some progress around here. And then nothing much else. Over in the Sivas front, we actually also surprisingly have some updates. As you can see, the Russian forces have managed to take quite a bit of Bilohorivka, and there is also this push north of Zolotatarivka, and then this attack into the northeast of Verkhomokadyamsky. So this is some of the frontline changes over in the Sivas front, but it's largely over this region. And it is also this region, the Luhansk region, that actually caused the frontline change, the area change at Lugansk. So Luhansk, which is the difference was a 6 square kilometers difference. So yeah. So that's the change coming from. Bakhmut front, we have some change over at Krychorivka. This is not confirmed. This is actually just a claim from the Russian side, but they claim to have moved out at Krychorivka. Some bits over at some bit of changes at Orikovo-Vasilivka. There was a geolocation previously over here, causing the front line change. Let's see. Around the Stupovsky region, we have some changes as well. We have the Russian forces storming down the highway to this point, and then there's also these battles in the south of Chasivya. So some slight change here and there. So the not particularly significant, except for the one at Stupovsky. Maybe it's significant. Maybe south Bakhmut, nothing else. Over in Torex, the Battle of Torex, there is a major change is the Russians penetrating into the east of Skrebnivka and also on the west of Petrivka region or Novopaske. The Ukrainians actually launched an attack, and then this is the frontline change in favor of the Ukrainians into the Torex city. So this is pretty significant in that sense. However, the Russians did push out to Krimsky. So you can see that the Battle of Torex is still pretty fierce. Not much to really cut the cake. So that's a little bit change there. Ukrainians did lose a bit around here over the Zabalka region, just a bit, but pretty much that's the situation over at Torex. And the northern flank of the Pokrov front. So this is Pokrov. This is Pokrov. This is the Pokrov front. The northern flank, Minokhrad sector, Pokrov sector, and the southern sector. So in the northern sector, we have the Russians making a lot of developments around in February. They managed to push out to the southeast of Melanivka. They managed to push out there. They managed to secure Vozdevzenka, push towards Vodyany Druhi, and also attack into Zelene Pole. So that is all these major developments around this sector. But it feels like a lot, but it also doesn't feel like a lot. But yeah, it is what it is in February. So fight a whole month just for like this, this little bit. The Lysivka, there is some change with the Russian forces capturing the central part of Lysivka. So that's from this area, and then not much to really cut it. Some frontline change, slight one. Along the railway line, not significant at all. Then we have the other major push. So you can see the Russians do some major developments here, and then this the other major development. So this other development around in the southern flank of the Pokrov front is the Russians' capture of Strypny, Zaporizhia, and then the northern flank attack towards around Preobrazhenka, and as well as closing down on the eastern part of Preobrazhenka. They also push south of Yasinove. So this is the frontline changes around this southern part of Pokrov. This not bad. But you can totally see, like when you look at the big picture, you can see that this is actually the real push. This is actually the real push. Everything else, is like a scam. Nothing much changes there. And then we have, this big chunk. Let me see. Did I forgot to delete something? Yeah, I forgot to delete this. Yeah, because I can see that the colors is a bit confusing. So now we can see. So in the Andriivka front, this is the big one, where the Russian forces captured a lot of grounds. The Russian forces basically have penetrated into Andriivka and started the major battle for Andriivka. They have secured the western part of Shevchenko. Dashny has fallen. Zelenivka is taken. The entire Ulakli salient has been taken by the Russian forces all the way up to Ulakli. The battle for Ulakli allegedly is still ongoing. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry is still talking about it. And the battle for Constantinople is also ongoing, with the latest information with geolocation of Ukrainian forces in the northern part of the town. So, but all in all, this is a massive capture by the Russian forces. This is the major, this is like the most primary, one of the most biggest push by the Russians. This is one of them. Of course, the other one is Velika Novosilka. So this is very big. If I zoom out a bit, you can actually see that, comparing to the southern flank of the Pokrov front, this is actually much bigger. So, and then you see this is just as big as this one in the north of Velika Novosilka, which is where we're heading to next. Of course, there's some slight changes around Roslev, very tiny frontline changes, not the main push, so it doesn't really gel much for us. So this is the northern flank of Velika Novosilka. So last month, the Russian forces captured Velika Novosilka and Vremivka, and since then, the Russian forces have moved around 6 kilometers, 6.5 kilometers since, for the entire month of February, with Russian forces, let me zoom out a bit, with Russian forces confirming the capture of Novi Koma. They have captured Belatsky, capturing Novo Oteritubate. They are now attacking into Skushny, and all of this area here is being attacked. They attack into Novosilka. They are now putting pressure on Pravine. So that's what it is. I think I need to zoom in to be a bit more clear. So you can see the Novo Oteritubate is taken. They are now attacking to Skushny. Allegedly, it is taken already in the latest news. They have now pushed towards Dnipro and Kyiv from this eastern flank, securing the west of Rozdony. They have pushed all the way out, so it should be this way out, all this way up, and then they push towards Belatsky, allegedly capturing it. Straighten the front line between Belatsky and Skutny, punch towards Privilny, attack towards Novosilka, and securing everything in between. So this is the other frontline change, and of course securing the north of Velika Novosilka. So this is the frontline change around this area here. Pretty big area captured. This, so you can clearly see from this 1 month history where the major Russian push is actually happening. So definitely it's still in the Velika Novosilka and Andriivka, and then a bit of Pokrov. So this is the major push. And you can see from this picture, it does look like the Russians are making this run. Coincide with around here as the Zeleny High, basically, and then you have this push to the front line, to the border here, and that will conclude the Russians' full capture of this southern half of the Donetsk front, of the entire Donetsk front. And so with that taken, then the Russians can then focus pushing upwards to capture the rest of the Donetsk. So Donetsk is still, still pretty much, still much more to go for the Russians to go. In the Zaporizhia region, we don't have much changes, I would say. Just a little bit at Pyatikaki. In recent geolocations and operations, the Russians seems to be starting some operations around in the Zaporizhia region, and but this is the main one. This is the only frontline change around here for the past month. And then over the Kherson, we have some slight change. Mainly is because of the areas between Dachi and Dniprovsk. So the Russian forces have been geolocated in the south of Dachi, and they have also geolocated in the south of Dniprovsk. So these are all warning signs that the Russians may be going for a Kherson offensive. But of course, Kherson offensive is dangerous. It's because it involves river crossing. So we cannot be fully sure that the Russians are going to go for it. But yeah, this is also the frontline change over the past month. And yeah, more impressive than what we have at Zaporizhia for sure. So that's it. These are all the frontline changes. So hopefully this is useful for you to have a sense of reference of how the war have gone. So support me by subscribing. I know a lot of people who watches don't subscribe. Unfortunately, it's really important. I wish you can have this freedom and I don't have to worry about it. But the lack of subscription affects the views. Like seriously, the YouTube will just push the video lesser. So help me, help you, help me, help you, help me, help you. And I'll see you guys in the next update.